Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Keeping It Real. I'm your host, David King.
And I'm your co-host, Fredric Cilbrith.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And today, as you can see, we did a little bit of remodeling here. Since, fall time is coming, I figured, we need to go indoors. So, welcome to, I guess, the new look of Keeping It Real. Today episode is going to be on relationships. Now, young people, relationships are our biggest thing. We talk about it with our friends. We talk about it amongst ourselves, and pretty much it affects everything we do. Go ahead.
And when it affects us pretty hard.
It
as
does.
People.
Good times and bad times. I mean, one of my biggest things with relationships and coming from my own personal experience is that when you're in a relationship, it makes you feel good about yourself. And I know a lot of people out there, like when you're young and you first get that first boyfriend or that first girlfriend, you're like, I'm in love, like, oh, extra happy. And
that's what they call puppy love, dude.
Well, most definitely. But at the same time, relationships also can make you feel really down, And I know that also from a personal experience. I mean, Fred, you've had, I don't know. What's your take on relationships when it comes to that personally?
I mean, if you're loyal and you're trustworthy and you're honest, it should work, but it's also a give and take. You can't put in all the work and have one person, you can't put in all the work and have it be one-sided. It has to be two-sided.
Very true. Do you feel now? First of all, do you feel now these days a lot of young people are dating way too young?
Yeah. Like some people are dating at like 12 years old, which they really shouldn't. To be honest, they really shouldn't.
For me, I agree with that because I feel a lot of things happen when you jump into one something like that too early. I mean, we say it all the time: teen pregnancy and a whole bunch of family drama. But for me, I didn't really start dating until I was in high school. I mean, for some people, it's hard to get a relationship. It doesn't work so easy. I think, speaking for the both of us, just having that disability and people out there who have disability or considered, not pretty or not the most good looking or...
Either that or they look at you differently because you have the disability, or they judge you on the disability, which really shouldn't be the case.
It really shouldn't, but there's also people that get judged because you're too heavy, you're not pretty enough. I mean, we all go through it. Like, I'm not popular enough, especially in school. It's like there's like a status when it comes to relationships.
Then you would try to press the girl, and it really doesn't go your way, and it backfires in your face most of the time. But some of the time, it may not.
What about the girl who tries to impress the guy?
Well, see, I think girls make it harder for guys like us nice guys, to actually have the relationship because all they want to do is date jerks.
That seems like the most topic of today. I mean, you go to college.
Yeah.
So, when you go to college, is that the lingo, or is it more, the gentleman gets the girl? Is it more the young and stupid kind of thing?
But mostly if you're the nice guy and you treat a person nice, then they'll give you a shot. That's usually how it is, because the status quo, as you know, in high school, it dies after college.
It kind of does. I know personally when I was in high school, for me to get a relationship took a lot of work. It was like putting in a job application,
Yeah.
Is you wearing the right sneakers? Are you qualified? Do you have money in your pocket?
Sometimes it's like the movie Hitch. She could have said yes, but she said no.
Yeah. But, a lot of times, I feel bad for people who get judged just because they have a good heart, but they get judged just because they don't wear the best fashion clothes or they're a little overweight or whatever the case may be. Right. Us as young people, we really have to stop, judging one another about what we look like and start looking at the person in the inside and not just the person for what they, there's an old saying, never judge a book by its cover. And I feel a lot of times we judge the book by its cover before we even read the book.
Well, that's because the media, TV, radio, it all says be this when you should be something that you are.
You are. That is 100% true. cable television has taken over with their music videos and their reality TV shows. So what what a relationship status should be like, or what you should look like or act like,
or what's considered normal.
Exactly. But I mean, I feel we should all, we have to be ourselves. Like for me, I personally, I be myself every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah. What you see is what you get. I'm not gonna change for anybody, and for if I was in a relationship, for anybody who doesn't like me for who I am, then that's their loss. Because I know I have a lot to offer a person in a relationship, period. And not just dating, even friendships is a relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always like as intimate, but friendships are a relationship too. And a lot of people, I can't be your friend because you're not cool enough or whatever. Like, yeah.
Well, I think if you and your friend have a disagreement on something, whether it's who they're dating or if it's money issues or whatever, if they're able to admit that they're sorry and be honest, and then learn from that experience, then I think that friend that you have that's loyal to you should get another shot.
True, but also relationships or friendships, like you said, it's a give and take, and friendships or relationships, you don't just use one person.
No, you don't.
You feed off each other.
Right.
Kind of like me and you here having a conversation.
Yeah.
You feed off each other and you watch each other's back. You don't use each other, and
right.
you see that a lot today. Friends stabbing other friends in the back, or friends only using their friends to get what they want, and I think that's a really sad thing. And some people have been friends with other kids since, I don't know, elementary school, maybe since middle school, and I know personally that break my heart to have my best friend like kind of stab me in the back, especially if I've been friends with a person for so long. And it really affects me because then it's like you don't want to go to school, right. you feel down about yourself, and then it makes all other kind of problems.
But if that one friend's trying to come to you and say, hey, let's talk, then I think part of you should at least go out of your way and at least hear what the other person has to say.
I mean, yeah.
Whether it's good or bad.
True. But I mean, I feel like a real friendship, a real relationship, you got to have your good times and you got to have your bad times.
Yeah.
You can't call it a real relationship or a real friendship if you don't go through your good times and bad times. I know I've gotten into arguments with many of my friends. I've lost a lot of girlfriends, but sometimes like for me, if I can't date a girl, but we could still be friends, I'm still just as happy with
right.
that. Or my friends, we fight all the time, but I don't want to say kiss and make up, but I mean, we make up, and at the end of the day, we're still friends, and that's at the end of the day, that's what matters to me.
Right.
I mean, but now kids these days, I mean, you have kids killing their own friends over a candy bar or something.
Do I think that's right? No. I don't think it's justified.
The same person that you chill with next week is going to hurt you over you have better sneakers than him. Or you have a better hairstyle or a better dress than her.
But it shouldn't be about the status.
It shouldn't be about the status. And that is exactly what, here today, we're telling the viewers today, because a lot of that, it is about the status, because that is what, it all becomes, School is not about going to school anymore more than it is about fashion. More, friendship is not about friendship as it is about what you can do for me.
Right.
And that is something that I'm like, that needs to change, because I would never judge my friends on what they look like or what they can and cannot do. I would judge them by the person that they are.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how
me and you have been friends for what, 20 years?
Since the dinosaur age, I want to say.
Since like 1992.
Wow, yeah. I'm getting old, folks. I don't even know. I ain't have no clue how long this is.
We've been through ups and downs, and we've had good times and bad, but all in all, I try to be a loyal friend to you. I may screw up sometimes, but at the end of the day, if I come to you and I'm admitting what I did wrong or things that I've done that I'm honest about it to you, and if you need your space, then I can respect that. But at the end of the day, you can't say I didn't come to you and be like, here's what it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's a good thing. I mean, you do. I mean, I know I'm not the easiest person to cope with sometimes, but, a lot of friends have to respect that too. If your friend needs space, that don't mean that that person doesn't want to be your friend, or I'm not dating the person. Sometimes they just need time to clear their head and get themselves together, kind of thing. But yes, I mean, you and folks, yes, Fred here. Me and him have been friends for so many years, and we've been up and down with a lot of things, and we've been on two separate paths our whole life. I mean, him growing up in Milford and me growing up right here in Bridgeport. So we live almost two different lifestyles, but we are the very best of friends. And, for me, I don't know what I would do if Fred wasn't there, because he's a big part of my life. Rather good times or bad times, he's a big part of my life. And I know there's a lot of, young people out there where your best friend is part of your life. I mean, you go through things with your best friends. I mean, you go through deaths and families with each other. You go through surgeries, or you go through divorces. Your friends are a big part of your family as much as your immediate family.
I mean, folks, I've known this guy for like 20 years, and my dad could tell you, he could tell you that I Googled him at the age of 13. You Googled me? Yeah, I Googled him.
You Googled me.
I Googled him because back when we were like 92, 93, 94, 95, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have what kids have today.
Yeah,
we just
right?
moved on with our parents.
We had the house phone.
Right, yeah, right?
We had the house phone.
But what I'm trying to tell you folks is, if it wasn't for this guy sitting right here, I wouldn't be the person that I am, because he's a big inspiration, and he's a big part of my life. This guy is like my brother, to be honest with you.
And thank you, and so are you. I mean, you're like my partner in crime. I mean, like I said, we go through a whole lot together, but we hang together, on the show, we work together, but even off the show, we are friends, and we talk all the time, and we go out together, and we just do so many things together. But to me, it hurts me when I see so many young people friends with each other, and then they just turn on each other and then act like, oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter.
No.
Because it changes your whole perception. It's like, okay, for example, you're my friend, you stabbed me in the back, but now I don't want to go to school. And now my whole persona of who I am changes, because now I feel nobody cares about me. As crazy that may sound, sometimes your friends are a bigger part than your own family. And I'll explain that because you spend more hours of the day with your friends than you do most of the time with your own family members.
Right.
Your mother, father are off at work, and your brother and whatever, doing whatever. But when you go to school and you're there for 6-7 hours, your best friend is like right there with you all day, every day.
I mean, there's times that I've called you and be like, hey, can I spend a weekend?
Oh, I mean, yeah,
just to spend a weekend to get out of my own house.
Or even speaking of friends, even when your parents are like, you can't do this, and your friend is like your partner. They're always like, I agree. Your parents are so out of control or whatever. Right. So you spend more time discussing things with your friends up to date
because they
than your
get
parents.
You on that level. That's the point.
Well, yeah, I mean, and sometimes they're also just easier to go to than a lot of your parents. I mean, I know when I was growing up, going to my mother was like, gun. It was like, no. But, going to your friend was like your first thing, because your friend would understand, like, hey, hey, I got something to say. I don't want to tell mom, but I think I might got this girl pregnant,
Right, yeah.
Or, hey, I don't want to tell mom, but I got suspended today in school. What do you think I should do? It's always easier to go to the friend before it's to go to your parents. I mean, I know for me, it was, like I said, it was hard to go to my parents. And I couldn't even go to my own sister, because my own sister was doing her own thing and had her own friends. I mean,
right.
I mean, what about you? Was it?
I mean, I'm the oldest of 3 kids back when
I'm the oldest out
my
of
parents were married.
two kids, me and my
But,
sister.
I never really got along. I got along with my sisters. They were just kind of just there to talk to. I mean, Kaylee's one of basically that I would talk to all the time, but she's doing her own thing, and Sarah's got her own job and everything. So I'm trying to do my own stuff. So I think we're
Exactly. So it's like, okay. Well, I can't hang out with you, so I got. Hey, Dave, I guess.
Right, yeah.
What are you doing? I mean,
and it's even with advice on life. In period, I'll go to you for advice and be like, how do you handle a situation? Like most of the situations that I get into, I'll be like, okay, how do I want to handle this? What plots? How would you handle this?
that's a good point. You do go to each other for your like insights on how to do things.
Right.
Like I go to you when it comes to, especially when the book smart kind of stuff. You've always been, folks. Yeah. He is academically smart. I mean,
and folks, he's street smart. He is very, very street smart.
So if I have to go to him about an academic situation, he's the guy I'm gonna talk to him, because that's not my strong point. But that's the thing. Right. Friends feed off each other.
Right. Good
or bad. Yes, even bad. Right. Friends feed each other even negatively. Right. Hey, let's jump to a window. You think it'll be all right? Yeah, we're never gonna get caught. but yeah, just like us, we feed off each other, and friends feed off each other. Friends. I know for me, school. I don't think I could have got through school growing up without friends.
I remember
me going
into surgery. Going into surgery and you freaking out because I wasn't gonna be able to get out. You didn't know if I was coming out or not. You're like,
when you're like what? You're like what? 9, 10 years old. That's like the world's coming to an end. My friend's going into surgery. Oh my God. Right. Not understanding.
Folks, I knew this kid back when he was walking.
I knew you back when you were in a wheelchair. And isn't it ironic that we flipped the script?
Yeah, right.
Now I got the chair and you're walking.
Hey, but I envy you for that chair, man. You get around quicker than I do.
Yeah, that's kind of like a car. and it saves gas.
That's your own personal Cadillac.
Yeah, pretty much.
It don't run on gas. It runs on electricity.
Hey, but it's not like I wouldn't give it up to actually walk too. Being able to walk and run around is still that's an awesome thing to be able to do.
Like I told you from day, when we first met up again, if I could do it, I'd have you walk and me be in the chair.
But even, speaking even with us, on a side note with all of this, that's also picked me up. I know personally for me, you get me through those times where I'm like, I'm depressed about being in the chair or whatever. And you give me that confidence to keep going forward, even if I'm starting to feel down about it. So, it helps. It really does.
But I look at you and look what you got. You got your own apartment. You pay your own bills, and I'm still at home, but I'm still trying to get around and get out there at least a little bit. At least with doing this show and doing the things that I'm doing.
Oh, most definitely. But without you and some other friends, even though I have all those things, it's nothing without you guys, because you could have everything in the world, but if you don't have loved ones or friends to share it with, then it doesn't matter. You're just going to die a lonely person with a lot of money. Right. There's an old saying, folks, money does not buy happiness, and for me, that's exactly what it is. Money does not buy happiness, because money, it can buy me what I want, but it can't buy me happy. It can't buy a real friend.
Right.
You can have tons of friends when you're rich. Everybody that you never met gonna be your best friend. But
it's like my dad says all the time. And my dad says this: if you have 7 true friends before you die, you a lucky man.
Well, for me, I'm happy just having the few friends that I have, and the few friends that I have. That's why, I would never turn my back on them. And my thing is that I'm addressed to the young folks is that if you have those true friends, those are the ones you want to keep by your side, because no matter what you go through, no matter where you go in life, I don't care if it's here, Japan, wherever, we'll still be there no matter what. They will still find a way to keep in contact, rather that's tweeting, Facegram, and all that other stuff, and Twitter and all that other stuff. They will still find a way to keep in contact with you, because that's a true friend. Right. I feel like this, a lot of people like to play the wolf in sheep's clothing. They want the title as a friend, but they can't accept the job as a friend. A job is more than just a title. It says, okay, I'm your friend, so that's the title you give me, I'm your friend. A real friend is there no matter what. And I mean no matter what.
Good times and bad.
Good times and bad times, rich or poor. Like it's like an informal marriage.
Yeah.
You're not having a ring, but it's like informal marriage. Yeah. I mean, I know for me personally, all the friends, you especially, that are in my life, before anything else, before any amount of money or any publicity that I could ever have, you guys on that. Because you guys, you know what? You guys were there before everything that I have begun. And still there now that I'm progressing and moving forward.
And you've been with me since day one. And like I said to you, I may do things that are like uncalled for in a lot of times and take things differently and be on like anxiety and all that. But at the end of the day, at the end of the roof, at the end of the day, if I'm able to come to you about a real situation and be honest about it and therefore be loyal, then that's pretty much all I need to be okay.
Speaking about loyalty is a main key. I feel like I can talk to several 28,000 people.
Yeah.
And I talk to them and get to know them. But my loyalty is always my main friends. They trust me and I trust them right back. I treat them just like they treat me.
Right.
I'm not saying I don't have other friends. I mean, I have you, and I have Samantha, and I have Audrey, who's been also here on this show, and everything, and a few others. But when I'm friends with them, no matter what they go through, they know that I'm gonna be there because I'm loyal to them.
Right.
But you have a lot of friends, a lot of kids that date or friends with each other, and there is no loyalty.
Right.
They'll work together in unity, but there ain't no loyalty amongst each other. As soon as your back turned, he's digging in your book bag. but he's like, hey, I'm your friend. That's my title.
Yeah.
To me, I'm always like, it has to be earned, not given.
Right.
Just like respect, it's earned, not given. A friendship is earned, not given.
Right.
I have great friends. I mean, I've made friends in the last year or two that I may not have been as close as I am with you, but I mean they're pretty good friends. Like Ricky.
Oh yeah.
Here in the studio. Or like my producer Francisco. I love talking to Francisco as well. And by the way, thank you, Francisco, for doing what you do every week and doing my show and all the other shows you do. It's appreciative, even though he doesn't get much credit. But
he's a good guy. He does the job.
Yeah, he moved the couch for me. I couldn't.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't move the couch. But anyway, but that's what I'm saying. And because of that, I respect them for that. And it's why no matter what, I could not see myself turning my back on them or you or anybody else. I mean. You go to Houstonic, is the friendship quality strong?
Yeah.
At
some people, but it depends on the person. Every person is different with friendship, but I think the friendship at Houstonic is basically the same.
I mean, I've been Houstonic once. I mean, I kind of figure everybody got their own packs.
Oh yeah.
Cultures stick with cultures, and guys who play the Yu-Gi-Oh cards hang out with the Yu-Gi-Oh guys. I mean, with art, like, is that like a friendship thing, or is it just like?
It's just a bunch of people going together, making, playing cards and whatnot.
I mean, that's good. I mean, speaking of relationships, is the relationship thing a big thing?
Again, it depends on the people. I mean, me myself, I'm not in a relationship, but there's people there that are. It's just depends on the person, really.
I mean, for me, I attend Central at night, and I mean, relationships are not as heavy at Central at night, but at the same time, I mean, friendships are. I mean, people are, they have friends, and it feels like you're in regular daytime high school, and you're cool, and what people may not know, like I always said to Fred, for me, reading has never been my strong point. So I went back to Central at night after I had got my high school diploma to improve that. So that's why I'm not actually in Houston Sonic with you as well. But see, that's the thing that makes you a good friend. You didn't judge me and say, okay, well, because you're not good at that, we're going to stop being friends. No. And I appreciate that very much. I really do. And, I mean, just sitting here and on the show and talking to the viewers at home, I mean, it only sky's the limit to what true friends can do,
right,
and what they can achieve. I mean, I'm proud of you. You told you're proud of me. I'm proud of you for your accomplishments. Besides you going to Houstonic, you making the initiative to, meet with your publisher, and work with him to become better writing, since that's what you wanted to do. So,
yeah.
Your writer Anderson, thank you. I think, because he's a part of that with you, and I sat down with you and I sat down with him, and I had a great conversation, and I think he's a good mentor for you, especially with the writing. He knows his stuff. He reminds me of something out of the 1920s. Yeah.
See, I told you. He ain't lying, folks. This guy looks like a 1920s
but it's
reporter.
Cool.
I keep telling him. He doesn't want to
It's
listen.
cool. I mean, it's cool. He really knows his stuff, and I had a great conversation with him, and very nice guy. And the fact that you want to be a writer and that's what you inspire to do, my hat's off to you and him.
Well, come on and say hello.
It wouldn't be possible without this guy.
You're welcome.
It wouldn't be possible without this guy, folks.
Yes, Anderson is here with us today in the studio, and thank you for coming down to the studio today. We're getting close to the end of the show here. I know the last couple of weeks it's been hectic. We've had a lot going on, and we had a lot of differences, but at the end of the day, Fred, understand that you are still my friend and co-host, ladies and gentlemen. But we're coming to the end of our show, so Freddie, you have any last words you would like to say before we end the show today?
Guys, if you have those true friends that are really there for you, like this guy right here, with me.
Or this guy, in the striped shirt, look like Freddy Krueger.
Then keep them, because you never know when you're going to need them again.
And you don't ever miss it until it's gone.
You're right.
So if you have a relationship, stick with your relationship. So if you have a good man, stay with that man. You have a good girl, be loyal to that girl no matter what she looks like. And like he said, if you have a good friend, stay loyal to your true friends.
Right.
So now we're going to get ready to get out of here. So with that said, I'm your host, David King.
And I'm your co-host, Fred Cilbrith.
You've been watching Keeping It Real. See you next week.
Good night.